Welcome to the Talking Sport Report podcast with Scotty and Eggo.
Unbelievable.
Episode 30 of the Talking Sport Report. Yeah, we've hit a milestone yet again, Scotty. 30 weeks in a row. You would be remiss to think this podcast would have folded a long time ago.
People hoped. People hoped. I'm just shocked that after 30 shows, neither of us have had a sickie.
And you know what? We gave it a red hot crack tonight.
Oh, didn't we? What? And we'll touch on that a bit later.
Yes. We've also got some cracking new rule changes that are coming in for the NRL. So if you've sort of been loving the NRL, of the last few years, and you think, wow, what a great game it's been and is becoming, you want to know what rules are going to ruin that. We've got them for you really soon. We're also going to go over all the latest signing news. There's been a bit of movement around who's signing where, and there are some backflips and some very interesting moments that we're going to have to discuss, Scotty, around that. But we wanted to start the show right at the top. Off the back of these international matches, Australia beat England overnight to clean sweep the Ashes series 3-0. What were your initial thoughts when you heard that they won?
Not surprised. Didn't come as a shock. Look, to be honest, I was probably less shocked than Cherry Evans finally signing.
Well, that's true.
No, not surprised. We spoke about this a few weeks ago. You really would have expected nothing less. Not being rude, not taking anything away from England, but they're shit. Hopefully that transitions to cricket. But yeah.
Yeah, we're hoping this is a precursor, right? Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Not surprised. Didn't come as a shock. Players played well. More shocked that at 2-0, changes weren't made. There's players that honestly surprised me. They didn't make an appearance at all. That shocked me. One being Moses. I honestly thought at 2-0, I thought he would have got a look in for sure, only because we know how good he is and how much he can change a game. Bradman Best, I thought maybe he deserved a little bit of a crack. Not overly upset that he didn't get one, because the less he does in the off-season, the better it is for anyone else that's playing against the Knights, although not a hard thing to do at the moment.
Very true. Very, very true.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really great talking points out of this Australia and England matchup before we move to the other cracking game, which was Samoa versus New Zealand, which again, if in terms of international level football, it was the pick of the bunch, right? In terms
definitely.
of both games. But there's two really glaring obvious points, and you've raised one of them right at the top, which I'm glad you did. Mitch Moses. The talk is Nathan Cleary has been, there's no denying his level of skill and the fact that he is one of the best and will go down as one of the greats of NRL. Basically, he's a classic NRL level talent, right? But for some reason, he just can't connect it to the state of origin world and now the international world. 2 solid games in games 1 and 2. Game 3, he was there. But again, do you need that flair? And now the big conversation is Mitch Moses deserves to be the number 7 spot. And we were talking about this in the warm-up to this podcast, Scotty. When Cleary, and we have had this quite a bit, when Cleary couldn't play for New South Wales because of injury, New South Wales was kind of fine as long as we had a great halfback. Yeah. Yes. The second we lost Moses, we were in a lot of problems. And I know we lost Mitch Barnett too, but if Mitch Moses plays game 2 and game 3, does New South Wales win?
Different story. I think it's closer. The most painful part about all this, Jimmy will be frothing on this.
Yeah.
No, you did say it pre-show, and it was correct. We lost Cleary. Weren't really concerned for the simple fact we had Mitch Moses. I think that's a clear indication that I think he's more of a match winner on representative stages than what Cleary is. We've seen what Cleary can do. Take nothing away from him. The guy is an absolute superstar. He's won a shit ton. He's won more than, in 4 years than any player does in their career at times. I feel like Moses should have had a crack in England. I feel like when it comes to those big games, i.e. Origin, I feel Moses is more of a loss than Cleary is. I feel like Moses can be at times considered a bigger big game player. And that's just my thoughts. That's my thoughts.
It's a really cracking opinion, and I think it's led to the second part of this conversation because maybe it's also because of the coach. Now we said going into this Ashes series that Kevy Walters was kind of like almost dead man walking before he even started. Like they kind of reluctantly gave Kevy the role, and it kind of felt like the side didn't ooze like, this is a well coached machine. Like it was a little clunky and not actually taking some risks and actually trying, hey, we're up 2-0. Let's put Mitch Moses in. Let's rest Cleary, or let's bring Mitch Moses off the bench, or whatever it may be. Do something to sort of showcase you are willing to try new things. And now the conversation is around, will Kevy even keep his job as the New South Wales, as the Australian coach, even though they just had a 3-0 series whitewash?
Do you know the worst thing about that? I believe, and again, my thoughts, the Australian coach would be one of the easiest gigs in rugby league.
Yeah.
For the simple fact, you have an abundance of stars at your selection, at your disposal. They've gone 2-0 up. Why not ring the changes? What'd they take? They took 5 or 6 guys over there that didn't see a second of rugby league. At 2-0, you've seen it yourself. At 2-0 in Origin at times, you'll see a young debutant, or you'll see even the bench has been shuffled. And you've got the chance of, even with 6 minutes to go, you're introducing someone that's never been on that stage. I feel like he's been handed the easiest job he'll ever have, one of the greatest jobs in rugby league, and I think he's fucked it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Well and truly, absolutely shit show. And look, to be honest, I think there's better guys out there that can do the job.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll put my hand up. I'll put my hand up.
Right now, your changes are bringing Mitch Moses in at 7. And, maybe giving one of the other guys a chance to play is probably already a better spot than where Kevy's at, unfortunately.
Straight off the bat, we know the first 2 changes. Moses comes in at 7, probably minimum for game 3, and somehow we find a way to get Wishart on that plane.
Yes.
No question.
Your man. Your
No
man.
question.
Absolutely.
Bit biased. I don't care.
It does.
I don't care how injured Turbo is. I don't care how injured Turbo is. He's coming to England. I don't care.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, well, I know one person that definitely won't get a Guernsey on that plane would be Daly Cherry-Aarons, but we'll get to him later on in the podcast. But it does make a good point around Kevy, because I kind of feel like he had the chance to really stranglehold this job and showcase why he should be the captain, the coach moving into the future. And he didn't really do anything, and he was sort of really hesitant to make those changes, even though they're up 2-0. And the good thing about it is, you're going to beat England in England, which is a great thing. And I know he didn't want to lose the match because you don't want to be the coach that has that one game loss. But if you're also not giving the chance to blood these players and get a chance to get them some game time in like a pressure cooker situation, like an Ashes series in England, imagine how much that would have done for some of those players. But anyway, they got the suit. They've got a beautiful Australian suit now that they can take home and put up in their cupboard and say, well, I went on that series and I gave most of the pubs a bit of a shellacking over there in England, but just none of the games.
That's what I was going to say. Hey, they would have done some beautiful sightseeing.
Oh, yeah.
Good on them. Good, and got paid. Did they would have got paid well? Did they? Do they?
Sure they would. I'm sure they would. I mean, you get paid enough to play Origin. Surely getting playing for your country would be great. Plus, you would be flying the best
flights
you could possibly flying, and you'd be all that free stuff. Now, the other side of the coin is Shaun Wane. So he is the England coach. There's already knives out for that poor guy. There was tweets during the game saying, mate, you won't have a job in the morning, all that kind of stuff. In the press conference, he kind of blew it off saying, I've got the support of the players, I've got the support of the team, and the people behind the team. They're generally the things you say before you get fired, let's be honest.
Yes.
Because you wake up in the morning and none of those people are standing there anymore supporting you. But the funniest part is Madge Maguire, hot off a Broncos premiership victory, happens to be in London, in England, over there on a it's like an education purposes for the Brisbane Broncos.
So
and
it's a
now the
tax
rumor mill's
write-off.
flying. Yeah.
It's a tax
Now the
write-off.
rumor mill's flying that the new England coach will be Madge Maguire. And this pisses me off, Scotty, because if the Landys would have just relaxed the rules, Maguire would have been the Broncos coach and the New South Wales coach. We'd be happier. And then we wouldn't
stoked.
have him being stolen for England.
Do you know what? Madge is that good. He could have done the Broncos job, the Blues job, and that Aussie job.
Yeah.
And at the moment, the last few years, it looks like everything Madge touched turned to gold. He pisses excellence as a coach lately. I feel, you said it yourself, the current coach, we've watched enough Ange Postecoglou to know that they're the cliches you say before you're shafted, before you're done. Could you imagine them picking up Madge? Even if they've got shit players, he will take them and turn them into at least something a little bit more competitive than what they were in those last 3 Ashes matches. I feel like Volandis has dropped the ball. He's done a Kevy, and he's fucked it.
Absolutely.
He's fucked it.
I guess watch this space and be very upset when Madge Maguire, who should be coaching New South Wales, is now coaching England, and they get the thing. But let's be honest. Right now, if Australia, with or without Kevy, was to come up against Samoa, and we will, because I believe there's a World Cup coming up. So we've got Samoa and New Zealand, who played an incredible game of football, and you were loving it.
It was so physical. It was end to end. Some of those hits were unbelievable. Questionable commentary by Vossi. That guy's an absolute piss take. There is a world outside of NRL, and I don't think he knows it. But honestly, it was a fantastic game. I was in Parramatta this morning, and the support everywhere you turned, there was Samoan jerseys, there was Samoan shirts, there was, a few Kiwis here and there, a lot of Taragos. It was fantastic. The crowd were going nuts. And to be fair, it turned into a little bit of a blowout for the Kiwis, but hats off to the Samoans. They were there full support up until full time. I think they're going to cause a lot of issues moving forward. And I wouldn't be taking them lightly. Actually, you don't have a choice because they're some big bastards. They're huge. Absolutely. It was by far one of the best games I've watched in the past 24 hours.
So if you're going to rank the three, let's rank the 4 countries right now. Would you still have Australia at number 1, or what would you be ranking them?
I would still have Australia at 1, only by default. Only by default. And as tough as it is, you'd have to put the Kiwis at a close second, only because they won that match today. They won they won it. They've got the trophy to show it. Nice way to send Kieran Foran out, which is fantastic. But in all honesty, it's not going to take much for that list of 3 to change. I would not be sleeping on those Samoans at all because they looked fantastic. They've got a great young side. A lot of them play together or have played together. Whatever they do in the shower is up to them. But they were absolutely fantastic. That game was brilliant. Someone even said Origin-esque.
Yeah.
Which is a
so
big
good.
call. But the crowd were superb.
It's getting to a point now where I know we have Origin halfway through the season, and I like that we do have this Pacific Championship kind of vibe, and normally we'd have Australia in this, but it does give us a fantastic run when you've got Tonga playing as well as they are, Samoa being as strong as they are, potentially, in the coming years could easily be a number 2 or number 1 side, and then New Zealand finding their form. The $13 million man, Dylan Brown, he sort of came good for the Kiwis, which is always nice.
Yeah, done well.
Just love to see him do it for the Knights. Maybe next year. Let's see how that goes. That's
it's amazing what you can do with quality players around you.
Yes, well, he might have a bit more trouble at the Knights, which is an interesting thing to talk about. Now we will get to some of the signings and some of the rumors floating around in that world very, very soon. But let's first discuss a couple of really key rule changes the NRL is looking to enforce. The first one being the funniest one. They're looking to enforce a new Gus Gould rule. Now, you know you've made it when you've got a rule named after you. Can you explain to me what the Gus Gould Rule is?
The NRL is set to introduce a Phil Gould Rule following the highly controversial Lockie Galvin saga. According to Code Sports, the NRL will soon introduce a gag order for club officials prohibiting them and player agents from making public or private comments about the future of contracted players in a bid to firm up the November 1 anti-tampering deadline. For starters, public comments, fantastic. Private? Come on. What you go home and talk about with your spouse or your significant other or your wife or your husband, it's no one's fucking business. Make all the private comments you want. But as we discussed, implement whatever rule you want. Call it anything you want. Call it the Lockie Galvin rule, for fuck's sake. We discussed this. At the end of the day, contracts now mean a hell of a lot less than they ever have. They're not even worth the paper they're written on. You introduce whatever rules you want. At the end of the day, if a player wants to go to a different club, they will force their hand and try their absolute hardest.
Yeah. Especially when there's a big fat contract on the line from a Rugby 360. They will force all kinds of hands to get the hell out of that. Just ask Zach Lomax. That guy, I don't know if he's ever looked at a contract and thought it was unbreakable, because that guy, every time he signs somewhere, he wants to go somewhere else. And again, I think he's on like a 2-year deal and he wants to get off the Rugby 360. So, oh God.
Interesting thing, because I'll be honest, I didn't read the entire story, but it says here it will be tricky because, for example, Braithen Astor is contracted by several current players as their agent.
Yep.
But he's also a Fox Sports host. And you've got to admit, if you try and put a muzzle on these kind of things, that's going to take away a hell of a lot of talking points.
Yeah.
Guess what? Guess
I
what?
mean, look at Gus. Gus is sitting there on the panel of Channel 9 and he's the general manager of a club. So, I mean, it is interesting, and I can understand why they're upset about it. But at the same time, it's going to be very, very hard to work out what is him making a comment, Braithen Astor making a comment versus actually trying to persuade someone to come to the club.
There's one huge positive to take from this. You and I can't be silent. So if you want this kind of bullshit and these rumors, you know where to go.
That's right.
You know where to go.
All 35 people that listen to this podcast will be very, very keen to hear what you've got to say if you want to come to us for your breaking news. A couple other really great rule changes that we friggin' hate is they're thinking about, now they've launched this committee. So again, like we need another committee from NRL headquarters to change more rules next year to make this game even more confusing. But they're thinking about bringing the NFL rule in, which I've got a massive issue with, Scotty. So the rule currently states if you were to score a try, you then receive the ball. So we've got these cracking games of football. Go back to the Broncos versus Canberra, first week of the finals. What a cracking game that was. Now, if the Broncos score that first try when Reece Walsh comes back onto the field and next minute Canberra gets kicked the ball, it's a completely different game.
Yep.
It takes away momentum. It takes away that flow of just, oh, wow, that here they come, here they come, here they come. And I remember the Panthers have had 2 or 3 games in the last year or so where they were down by 3 tries with under 6 minutes to go, and they've come back and won the games. And they've been the most entertaining watchers as a neutral to be able to see these incredible players just strangle a game and just take it over. This just ruins that.
I agree. 100%. 100%. And again, pre-show, we mentioned this was trialled once before, 1997 Super League, and it lasted for a season. And there's a reason for that. It is woeful. And I hadn't even thought of it until you mentioned it, but you are right. It changes the entire dynamic of the game, can shift the momentum. That's what it's for. You score that try, you're getting rewarded by receiving that ball back. You're pumped up, you're psyched, you're on the front foot. All of a sudden, you've gone over again. And you see it. How many times do commentators froth on the fact that such and such, they've just come out and scored 3 tries in 7 minutes, and all of a sudden this game's sensational. And viewers are loving it. That's why they say that
there's another one.
NRL is the greatest game.
I know. And another one that I love is, again, there's 2 minutes to go in a game, and it's the side's up by 8 points, and then next minute the side that's down scores in the corner. They kick a beautiful conversion. They're down by 2, and they're getting the ball back. So all of a sudden, this last minute, there's most likely not going to be a chance they're going to win. But God, it makes it good fun to watch, and actually gives you the chance to do it. If you're kicking off to the team then, and they are going to just strangle it out and play ball slow and bleed the clock out for 60 seconds, you lose the game. What an anticlimactic end.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you. And that's the thing. You put yourself in the shoes of the supporters of those sides when you're chasing that result, or even the team that's leading by 2. You're on the edge of your seat. You're biting your nails. You've gone in, you poured yourself another drink while they set up for kickoff. That's the shit that amps you up. That's either going to fucking ruin your night or make your night. Don't change it. Just keep it as it is. Keep it
There
as
are going to
it
be
is.
way too many living rooms that have no holes in the wall. There are going to be too many TVs that don't need to be rebought because someone's thrown a chair through them. All those kind of moments are going to be gone, and this game is going to be just watery shit. Like, let's be honest. Let's keep the rules the way they are. I think we're in a really good spot. I don't know why Volandis every 5 seconds thinks we need to change the rules. It's just like it's out of control. So let's hope that one. The good thing about this is it's a potential rule change. So if enough people kick up a stink and say they don't like it, hopefully it gets killed on the spot.
Yep, I agree. And we're starting that movement
right now, 100%.
Yes.
Now, the other one that's coming in, we don't need to talk too much about it, but there's a potential trainers that are going to get more scrutiny over them being on the field. I didn't even know this. We were talking about this before, that there's actually a blue and an orange trainer, and the blue trainers are allowed on the field a certain amount of times. The orange trainers, just get them off the field. Get
another couple of colours. We can then introduce Dorothy the dinosaur, Wags the dog, and all of a sudden we've just got
next minute the white Power Ranger will jump on the field, and he's only allowed on once. But if if the Green Ranger jumps on and blows his flute, the next minute they can put on an 18th plate. Like, what is going on? Just get them off the field. If there's someone down with HIA, concussed, bleeding out of their ass, let them on there. But apart from that, just keep them the fuck off the field and we'll be good. Unbelievable.
I don't know what's going on if someone's bleeding from the arse. This escalated. And you know what? I'm all for
it. Look, the hemorrhoid issue is not an easy one. Now, if you've just picked up Big Nelson Solomona and you've got hemorrhoids, you might be bleeding from the arse.
You've got a prolapse rectum. Oh, shit.
Now,
anyway,
there are some great signing news. Yes, there are great signing news that are out there right now. I would love you to take the lead on this one because it looks interesting. Daly Cherry Evans, it looks like he's going to be one and done with the Roosters.
Yeah, shocked me. Did anyone see that coming? It's the worst kept fucking secret in the NRL. Holy shit. I still think it's a shit move. A guy that's at the back end of his career really should have called it. Now we're just going to have a few youngsters pushed out. Hopefully other clubs benefit from that. Hopefully these youngsters go through and absolutely tear it apart. Yeah, so we sat here last week and talked about how all this shit was heavily discussed at the back end of the season, and then it went quiet. I don't know if people listened to the pod and decided to start put wheels in motion, but we've suddenly seen Cherry Evans sign with the Roosters, Sandon Smith to the Knights. Roosters announced Cody Ramsey signed a 2-year deal with the club. Was going through this earlier. Lockie Ilias going to the Titans. Luke Summerton signed for the Titans from Penrith. So the Titans are rebuilding. Got a couple of new owners as well.
They do. Big Gordy Tallis and Matthew Johns have bought in.
Yes. Massive.
Now, do you think... Do they know something that we don't know? Do they know that Bellamy's going there? Is that the confirmed Bellamy's going to the Titans?
There's that theory, or there's the theory that you and I had during the week, a week ago. There's either Bellamy's going 100%, or Matty's woken up one morning and basically gone to Trish, oi, I bet you I can find a way to waste the biggest amount of fucking money and it will surprise you. And she'll go, there's nothing you could do, Matthew, that would surprise me. Boom. Next minute he's on the phone to Gordy. We know it wouldn't take much to persuade Gordy. It wouldn't. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's come back and he's gone, oi, told you so. Boom. Yeah. Waste of money. Waste of money.
Or are you buying on the low? You're buying on the low. It could be the best investment he's ever made.
It's like Bitcoin all over again. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Everyone's backing him out, and he's actually just bought something that's going to become an absolute juggernaut in the years to come.
Well, I mean, again, it all depends what Tino does, because it could go from being worth this much, and all of a sudden Tino's gone somewhere else, and he's in the red already, and they're screwed.
Let's just be very clear. Gus Gould has said he is not hiring Big Tino. So you can take that to the bank, because he's never, ever, ever said he's not going to buy someone.
Why would he do that?
No. Yeah.
Hang on. Yeah, have we seen this before?
I think we've seen this play out before.
No, surely not.
He needs a lie detector strapped to him 24/7.
If Gus has come out and said he is not interested in a player, you can guarantee 100%. 100%. He's got him.
Yeah.
A few others. I'm super stoked. Clemmer has signed with St. Helens, which means Manly's not going to chase him, because Manly love going for anyone that's over the age of 30 and looking for a last contract. We do know Paps was granted an immediate release.
Yep.
Basically, I feel like this could be the start of some big movements. Big movements. You know, Fafita going to the Rabbitohs, which means that Davey Mole might go to Manly early. Kobe Hetherington just won a premiership. He's now going to Manly. Tom Travojevic signed the extension for less money, which doesn't make any sense.
But that Dave Fafita one is a really interesting one, because if there's someone who could get the best out of him, that guy's a really talented footballer. was one of those players where when they picked him for Queensland as a New South Wales supporter, you were worried about what he could do on the edge. He was always very, very skilled and could do lots of things that most back rowers can't. Plus, the guy was a brick shithouse on wheels. The guy could move. Definitely. So if anyone's going to get the best out of him, Big Wayno will get the best out of him, and then who knows what goes from there. Like that South Sydney Rabbitohs side, you look through all the players that had the big red cross next to their name for injury, that, like in this last season. If they can stem the tide on that, poor old Cody Walker, they might need to strap a few new legs and arms to him, become the bionicle man, because that guy is just constantly injured. But apart from that, what a different season that would be.
It's funny you say that, because it was only today I read a predicted starting side for Rabbitohs round 1 next season. It's a fucking red hot side. Yeah. And you go through that list, and I'm pretty sure 90% of that list missed a combined 7,248 weeks last year. They were munted.
Yeah.
It's going to be different. One question I do have, how do you think Khan Pereira is going to go at the Warriors? And I only ask because he was sensational in an absolute shit side. How do you think he goes over there for the Warriors? Does he score a shit ton as well?
Well,
do we
they're
look
also
at them?
that same sort of side that has an incredible array of talent, right? They've got so many good players. They were sort of hit with a bit of injury last year as well. So, look, there's no reason why we can't be looking back on that. I know we sort of said at the back end of last year, they could be the one that drops out of the 8. But if he goes over there and plays as well as he could and lifts them back up again, they do have talent across the field. They've got some great players over there already. Yeah. There's no reason why they can't be a top 4 side. But the problem we've got right now is there's about 12 sides that we think could be top 4 sides.
Oh, definitely. Before we move on, the quality the Warriors have across the field, those brilliant players, can you name 4 of them for me?
Yep.
Can you? Come on.
Hang on. You've just gone through a tunnel. You've just gone through a really... You're breaking up there. You're breaking up. Yeah, look, they've got Reece Walsh. Oh, hang on. They lost him.
Yeah.
There's some interesting ones floating around, though, from a signing point of view that we haven't discussed. So I'm going to rapid fire a couple at you right now. Big Payne Haas. There's rumors that he is doing a backflip on the Broncos. They were sort of saying, look, he's going to be staying here long term. rejecting Rugby 360. It's then come out that Rugby 360 are offering him basically $3 million a season instead of the Broncos 1.2. And he is now seriously considering a move to Rugby 360. Whoa, that would be a big one.
But again, common sense prevails here. You're working for, say $250,000 a year, doing a similar thing. Someone comes over and goes, "Hey, I'm going to offer you $750,000 a year." Are you going to turn around and go, "Oh, nah, come on, I like this"? He's looking after a family. He's been through some tough times. If someone offered me that kind of money, I would do unspeakable things for it. I'm not even going to lie. I'd do it for less. I'd do it for a lot less.
You have done it for a lot less.
well, it was a big weekend.
It was a big,
honestly, chase the money. If you got offered that kind of shit, that's life-changing. Take it.
The ironic part about that is I think you've actually done some of those things for free in your past.
Are we still talking about that?
I think so.
Anyway.
There's another one on the horizon there that it's kind of been put to bed already, but we should discuss it. Kalen Ponga was in New Zealand for a speaking gig. Yeah. He was then chatting to the New Zealand Warriors head of recruitment. Yeah. And there's now rumors floating around that he wants to go to New Zealand. Now, this poor guy can't go anywhere. I swear to God, if he walked down the road and went to Coles and someone from some other, you know what I mean? Like someone could walk in the door and like, well, they're having a meeting in Coles now. The poor guy can't go anywhere without some sort of rumors floating around that he's going somewhere else. Look, there's no denying. I can't see him being a Knight in a couple of years' time. There's pretty much zero chance of that happening. Mm-hmm. But what do you make of this latest Kalen Ponga saga?
Didn't you say they were in the tab?
They were in a bar. There's a photo. There's a few beers there. They're having a bit of a cheeky chat. Apparently, he was putting on some bets, and Ponga was there speaking. Like, it's so random.
So, if you know the person, if you've met the person, you don't ignore them at the fear of creating controversy. You say g'day. It just shows that he's just a normal human being that's seen someone he knows. They're having a bit of a chinwag. How's the off season, mate? Yeah, good. How's the family? Fantastic. Great. Hey, do you want a beer? No, you're all good. You're driving? Fantastic. Thanks, mate. Some dickhead's just going, oh, shit, have a look at this. May have sold the story. Good on him. Line the pockets. Bit of punting money. I don't feel there's much in it, to be honest. I feel like you are right in he won't be a Knight in a few years. However many years that is, I don't know. But I honestly don't think it starts now, and I honestly don't think it starts with the Warriors.
Yeah, no, I don't. That would be the thing. Like, why would you go to the Warriors when, if he was going to link anywhere, the links with him and the Bulldogs would make a lot more sense. Yeah, because Gus has come out and said he's definitely not signing Ponga, so there's no chance that he wouldn't be signing Ponga. Yeah,
there you go. If Gus says he's not signing them, this was agreed years ago, when he was still at the Cowboys.
Let's go around the grounds, my friend, because there's a lot of stuff to touch on. Before we completely go around the grounds, let's have a quick chat, because we did mention at the start of the podcast we are both a little bit hungover. I am very jealous that you got to go to Oasis, man. You got to go to Oasis.
I did. Sensational. Fantastic show. But from what I hear, you rubbed shoulders with some fantastic rugby league players overnight and some not so fantastic ones. But what'd you get up to? Well, tell me.
I had a fun night. Congratulations to start with, the wedding of Lachlan Fitzgibbon and my cousin Sophie Hanlon. They got married, so now Mr. and Mrs. Fitzgibbon. It was a beautiful night down past Kiama in Gerringong on the south coast. Absolutely beautiful wedding. To read you some of the guest lists that were there, you've got, Mitch Barnett was there, Big Mitch, Josh King, the Safidi brothers, pretty close to best on ground as quietly, but definitely best on ground. Adam Elliott and Millie Elliott, they were absolutely best on ground by a long way. Jackson Hastings was there as well. Matt Duffy. So loads and loads of Dylan Lucas, and of course the biggest name probably on the night, Kalen Ponga. He was there.
So
definitely one of the things I noticed was, like, he looks like a really short guy on the telecast. He is 6 foot, and when you're standing next to him at the bar, it's like it's crazy how small he looks on TV, but he's actually quite a bit of a unit in the flesh.
So I have one issue.
What's that?
All those names you've just read out.
Yeah.
How many of them are coming on the podcast in coming weeks?
I've got a couple of phone numbers, and I tried to prank them afterwards, and they all said disconnected.
Are you having a crack? Are you putting in the hard yards? Do you know how easy it is to tee these individuals up after a skinful of piss?
But do you understand? There wasn't enough players there to talk to it. Like, oh, hang on, there's like 45 players
you know
there.
What?
I guess they're. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
You know what? It's unfortunate because if I could ask for anybody, you would definitely ask Big Mitch Barnett. He is just a cracking human. And I reckon Adam Elliott would have been a fun one to chat to as well because my dad did the Millie is a fucking legend. Can I say both of them continue to put people on their shoulders and walk them around the dance floor. One of the big things that Adam Elliott, my dad did the classic dad joke where he said to Adam, because Adam had no socks on, and my dad walked over to him and said, "Hey mate, guess what? I've actually got a spare pair of socks in the car if you'd like them." And Adam did the classic thing and laughed and went, "Mate, that's fantastic."
But the last time they spoke all night.
No. Adam was best on ground. I would hate to be Adam's head this morning. It would have been quite tough, but that was a fun one. So a great wedding but no interviews. No interviews.
Yeah, I can tell. Did see some pictures. Catherine looked fantastic.
My wife, yep.
As you said, I went to Oasis, and as you know, when I have a few drinks, I make new friends with anyone. Oh. Yes, you know that. I'll talk to a brick wall if they would talk back. Anyway, generally, one individual had a McLaren hat on, so I decided to get professional input from a big fan on how Piastri's going. My simple question was, legend, Piastri, can he do it? His response was, nah, they've fucked him.
Yeah.
So around the grounds, Piastri, I think he's gone. Only because that individual told me on the piss. We sat here weeks ago talking about that's it, you know. We're going to have our first since, 86 or something? First champion?
Yeah, I know.
Gornskis.
Well, I did the same thing the other day as well, Scotty, but I didn't have the same success. I walked up to a guy who had a jersey on. It was the Chicago Bulls jersey, had Jordan. I went, "Oh, mate, who's your favorite player?" And he goes, "I don't know what basketball is. I've never, people just rock around with a jersey." So you're lucky you actually picked one that actually knew what they were talking about.
No.
That's my favorite thing to do when you go somewhere is if you see someone with a hat on or dressed up in some merch, you go, "Hey, who's your favorite player?" And they've got no idea.
Yeah, got no clue. No clue. So just having a quick look, Brazilian GP tomorrow morning, 4:00. Piastri 4th off the grid. Norris took pole. I think it's just getting more difficult for Piastri. Yeah. So I think we'll touch less on F1 now.
It's really sad.
It is. EPL, overnight, we've got some pretty good games coming up. Man City host Liverpool. But last night, Arsenal, first time in 10 games, they have not won. 2-2 draw with Sunderland, Sunderland sitting 4th.
They're good. They're going good this year.
Huge for a team that's just been promoted. If City can do Liverpool, they will be 4 points behind Arsenal. So
it's getting close.
I know we're only 11 games in, but the banter started on socials already. Arsenal fans calling the FA corrupt. City fans saying that they've choked already. 11 games, Jesus Christ.
It's a classic Arsenal thing, though, to be fair. 11 games in and starting to choke now because that's why you kept on saying to me the last few weeks, what are your thoughts? Arsenal on top. And I'm like, just shut the fuck. Stop talking about it. There's so much time for them to choke, and they are already starting. I mean, a draw is not the end of the world, but, it's a sign that maybe the collar's getting a little bit tight.
Just a little bit. And do you know what? Last stop around the grounds, Marnus. Is he...
Marnus Labuschagne.
Is he like? Is he born again? Is he just? What has happened? He is scoring runs for fun.
It's so good. It's so good. And the best thing is, next week we are going to our podcast here at Talking Sport Report is going to be the Ashes preview. So we are going to dive deeply into all things Ashes ahead of the big one, which kicks off in a few weeks' time. But I guess that the key stat here is Marnus Labuschagne is back. Over the last 8 innings in domestic cricket. Now, I know it's domestic cricket, so it's a little different to international, but you got to start somewhere when you're trying to fight your way back in. Yep. His average is 84.9. Let me just read you out just his last 5 bats, right? Now, this is a combined Sheffield Shield and one-dayers, but I think either one's still fine for me. 159, 105, 160, a 2, and then another 130.
That 2 is the ultimate. Scored 100 last week. I've got my eye in. I'm on form. Fucking 2.
You know the funniest part about that is? You look at those 3 bats, 159, 105, 160, 2. Now that is the ultimate bring you back to down to earth. But then at least he went back out and scored 130.
You're right. It's not even like a 30 or a 42. 2.
Yeah, 2.
It was interesting. With all these runs, I did read a headline before, and it got me thinking. Khawaja has come out and said the Aussies are best when Labuschagne's scoring runs. I mean, shit hot. I mean, they're doing their best when he goes out to do his job. But it got me thinking, because spot on. I read a stat, actually, before we move on, I read a stat a couple of years ago, and it reminded me of this. It was Major League Baseball. It was the Dodgers. And the Dodgers in that season were 13 wins and 0 losses when they scored more runs than the opposition.
Oh, that's so good. It's the dumbest shit, isn't it? Yeah.
What was the one that you said? Ladies and gentlemen, you will not get a speeding fine.
You definitely won't. Yeah, if you're not doing over the speed limit, you won't get a speeding fine. Like, it's just the most obvious shit. It's so funny, but it's true. But if Marnus is on fire, I feel like it brings the best out in Steve Smith, and we need Smithy to be on fire. So I'm really looking forward to next week. We're going to go over the Ashes in complete, and we're going to be touching on all things like who do we think is going to get the most runs. We're going to rank the top 10 players out of both sides, and we're going to go through, most wickets, most catches, and basically really get to the bottom of who is going to be on top come the end of this best of 5 Ashes series. And if anything's to go by, you take the rugby league and you say that is what we've got to just mirror. Put Kevy Walters at 3, let him bat because he's on fire.
Fucking hell.
All right, let's move on to our show tip. So the tip off.
No, we're not doing
it, mate. We are. Can I before we go into where we're at with the tip off? Do you know out of the last 4 weeks, one of our multis has come off every single week?
Yes.
So we're actually 4 from 4 as a team. So that's what we wanted, right? A bit of competitiveness.
Yeah. So let's scrap the winner and just push for. As a team effort. Come on.
No. So yours failed and you were leading 2-0. Yeah. Now the winner of this at the end of the year gets to tell the other person to do something, and it's
sexual.
You have to do it. It can be sexual if that's what you desire.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll go down that route, but let's wait till we get there. Yeah, I might. But basically, there's a lot on stake here because I am petrified of what you'll make me do, and I can't say no to it, so I have to win this. So the last 2 weeks, I've had back against the wall, down 2-0. I won last week. My multi paid over $2,500 for my $500.
Yeah.
Check out this multi that came off. OKC to beat the New Orleans Pelicans. That one. The 76ers to beat the Brooklyn Nets. That one. I put Man City to beat Bournemouth. That one. And the final one, I had Absurd, number 9, Absurd in the Melbourne Club to be the top 10. I think he came 8th. So he was 9th. He was right there. He was right there. But that was paying $2. So that paid over $2,500. It is now 2 apiece, Scotty. What is your tip for this week?
No, you go first. You won last week. You go first.
All right. Well, I'm going to go. I've decided to diversify my tipping this week, and I've picked a whole bunch of different sports. So I'm going for Stuttgart. I'm going Stuttgart to beat Augsburg.
Okay.
They're paying $1.47. That's happening in the morning. I'm taking Detroit Pistons to beat the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers are coming off a back-to-back. So the Detroit started the year amazingly. I think they're 7-2. 7 wins, 2 losses. They're playing amazing. So they're going to Philly. Philly are going to be a bit tired. Tough game today. Tougher game tomorrow. They're paying $1.60. I've taken the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Cardinals at $1.27.
All right.
And I've taken the New York Knicks back in the basketball to dismantle the shittest side in the league, the Brooklyn Nets, at Madison Square Garden. That's paying $1.08. So that's how short that one is. My overall bet is worth $1,728 for $500. What can you do, my friend? Because if you can also win, but you are getting more money, you win.
Okay. So I'm actually venturing into NHL. And
this is good for me.
Yeah,
this is good for me.
And so I've gone the LA Kings at Pittsburgh Penguins at $1.60.
Yep.
Into Dallas Stars at home against Seattle Kraken. Dallas are $1.42. Then we're going to Spain. Now, I don't know, but it might be a bit of match fixing, which could screw it. I don't know. But I've gone Athletic Bilbao and I've gone Barcelona. For my 500, it is returning $3,155.81.
Amazing. So was that? Am I hearing something? Is that only 3 legs?
No,
well, that's
Athletic
4.
Bilbao.
Yep.
And Barca.
Oh, and Barca. Sorry.
Yeah. Dallas and LA. Now, I'm very, very, very nervous about all of these, only because I was so overconfident last week. I'm pretty sure I got 1 from 4. So I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. I'm just kind of excited that at least one of us is getting a win each week.
That's true.
But can't seem to do it in our punters club. Sorry, boys,
That's
if you're
true.
listening.
That's true.
But we
Sorry,
did have
the
a good
punters
win.
club.
Yeah, sorry, lads.
Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, if Nev gives us $500 to punt, that'd be a different story, wouldn't it?
Well, that's a very good point. And let's be honest here, guys. If you are following both of our multis each and every week, you are guaranteeing yourself 50% chance of a win. So, look, now, 4 from 4 weeks, this is fantastic. Let's just keep, as long as one of us wins this week, we've got to keep this streak alive.
Oh, definitely. Let's
This
see
is a
how
good
far we
streak.
can go. We've just jinxed it. You know that, don't you?
Absolutely.
Completely jinxed it. Fantastic.
All right. Let's do the comment club.
It's time for Comment Club. Normally I ignore all the comments. I get a lot of them. I've got to get paid for this crap.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. Okay, so comment club. I got a fantastic message from a guy called Marty Heath Dunn, 8509. Must be his full name.
The 8509 as well?
I think so. I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, Marty first name, Heath middle name, Dunn second middle name, 8509 last name.
Last name.
Could be AI. I mean, let's be honest with 8509. But no, he writes in capitals, good show, fellas. Very professional. This is
Wrong
the
show.
point where I thought, yeah, you got the wrong show.
Wrong show.
Though it should be televised in your own little studio. Keep up the good work. The show can only get bigger and bigger. Marty from Sydney. Mate, Marty, look, it's a way to our heart. Tell us that you love the show and we're going to love you. Thank you so much. So that's what a great piece of feedback. He wants to.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do like that.
So maybe we'll have to look into
it.
Yeah.
Is it's just going to cost too much in travel at the moment. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, in saying that, remember, we're still looking for a sponsor to send us to Vegas. So
that's true.
yeah.
Which is good because Jordan Eckford got back to us. And basically said, you know, he's been very, very busy. He's definitely looking forward to having a conversation between you and I. For anyone who's just playing along, he basically wrote to us a few weeks ago saying he would like to sponsor the podcast. And yeah, which is very interesting. So maybe he could be sponsoring us to go to, quite literally. And we do
to Vegas.
That's it. He could send us to Vegas. So he also
Tax
writes
write-off,
he would like to get a shout out in for this week's pod. He wanted to give a shout out to his local cricket club, City United. They're in Maitland, Newcastle. for their touching tributes for very, very sad story through the week. Young Ben Austin, who was tragically killed in a terrible freak accident at a training session it was actually 2 weeks ago now. But basically all the City United guys, their juniors and seniors, they put their bats out on the porch, bats out for Ben Austin. And it's lovely to see that sort of stuff and everyone getting behind such great spirit, big hearts in such a tragic time. So really, really terrible story that. And you never expect to have someone go to training and then not come home, especially someone with as much talent and passion for the game like young Ben Austin did. But
and at that age as well.
So sad. But the tributes have been very touching. I saw the tribute, before the game at the MCG between Australia and India. Even the Indian players, heads down. Some of them were, basically weeping to themselves. Like, it's just such a sad moment that's touched all sporting fans around the world. So, really, really good one from Geordie to raise the bat towards
Fantastic
City United
shout-out.
for their things. Yeah, really good one.
Definitely.
He's also, we'll have to discuss this post-show, Scotty, but he's also raised his hands that apparently a year or so ago, he was looking at starting his own sports podcast and basically got a bit busy with work and couldn't do it. So he has put his hand up and said if he's across all sorts of sports from NRL, AFL, cricket, EPL. He said if we ever need a third host, he's keen to come on. Now, Scotty, are you keen to share the mic with Geordie? Or what are we at here?
Well, I thought of a few things straight off the bat. I thought, well, such a good kid, known him for such a long time. I'd hate to have to run him out of business before he starts, for starters. We're not putting up with competition. Mate, I tell you what, all I'm taking from this is one good show from Geordie, and that's my severance. It could
be the Talking Sport Report with Eggo and Geordie.
And why do I feel like this is just a case of, he's talking to you about sponsorship and he's talking to you about this. I'm feeling a bit jaded.
You know what?
Nah, good kid. Good
Scrap
kid.
him.
No, I tell you what, let's discuss this further off air.
Good call.
Let's
not air our laundry out in the middle of the public square.
Yeah, you and I are going to have words after this. There you go.
And you know what, mate? That's a perfect time to wrap up this podcast. Please be subscribing to our podcast wherever you subscribe to your podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, please, again, subscribe to our page on YouTube. Next week, our next episode, a massive Ashes preview show. We're going to go through the full lineup, Australia versus England, as we get pumped for that first test. It's so close. Very looking much forward to the cricket kicking off across the summer here in Australia against the Poms. So that's a big show next week, Scotty. We'll do our homework. We're probably going to get cracking on that now.
That's
but
my concern. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not been our strong suit.
You expect me to do some work.
Sucks.
Yep.
I know. Until then, sir,
Mate,
all the best with your tip.
Fantastic. Thank you. And no, fuck you. Yeah, I'm not sending you luck, you arsehole. Mate, absolute pleasure. Ripper show. At this rate, I will talk to you next week.
Done. Peace, love, dove.